Everyone, I'm here today with Jess Weeks, and we are so excited that she is going to share with us all the success that she experienced and created from joining one of the 7-week sprints into your 24 karat era. Hi,
Hello.
Jess.
Hello. I am so excited to be here. I actually want to take a minute and just like praise all your work because although the 24 karat sprint was so impactful, the work that we've done over my journey has just completely changed my life. So beyond what I could even express in this short little interview. Um, so as a 24 karat outcome sprinter, I went into it with like really high hopes of like launching my business, stepping into my entrepreneurial self. I gave birth to my daughter 5 years ago, also started like a healing journey at the same time, like really getting into the depth of my soul. So when we first connected, I was a new mom, so lost, wanting to like serve people in the healing that I was going through. And I didn't realize how much like blockages I had in that. Like I knew what I wanted to offer, but I didn't have the self-worth and the clarity and the confidence in myself to really step into that like version of myself. So when we started the sprint, I came in and I was like, I want to be a 7-figure, all the things that people say, like, I want to be this and that, and I want to be doing this. And like, just you having me sit down and be like, what does that look like to you? And I like journaled that. And I literally, like 5 minutes before we got on this, I was sending out an email for my photography. I'm a photographer, I'm a life coach. But I sent out this email and I got a text like, wow, these are amazing, Jess. Like, holy cow. And I'm sitting in the chair that I was visualizing, getting this text from my clients. And this is like the like this has happened multiple times since the sprint. And it's just incredible to be in the space to be like this is the visualization I've sat in before it's happening. Um, I have been a photographer, but I had stepped away from it when I had my daughter because it really wasn't something that I could do at the same time as like breastfeeding and bath time and nap time and bedtime. Um, and so now I'm not only like stepping into that, but I'm also homeschooling my daughter full time and honoring my needs. Like I hired a part-time nanny to come in and like play with her so that I could sit down for a couple hours a week and like do work. And like those are the aligned actions that your process like gave me the confidence to make.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank
Talk about identity shifts,
you.
like allowing yourself that expanded version, rewiring the meaning of a good mom in
Mhm.
your mind to
Mhm.
include someone else coming in
That
to
was
allow you to pursue other
mhm.
passions so that you could
Mhm.
come back fulfilled. Like, holy shit.
I
Like
know.
that's incredible. What beautiful growth. And just to witness that and for you to share that with everyone, like that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. And I'm not surprised. Like, of course that you took the tools and did the work that allowed you to be sitting at your desk getting the text that you envisioned for yourself during the sprint. I
Yeah.
would be remiss if I didn't say to everyone, the sprint is about creating a 24 karat outcome, this thing that you want. However, the magic is in becoming the woman who has the outcomes. They're the icing, right? The cake,
Yeah.
you are the cake and you're embodying that so beautifully.
Well, I think that's the magic of it is like each of us came with such a different like outcome. Like, there was an artist, there was somebody wanting to work out more that I was wanting to do like my business. There's like literally everybody came with a different like outcome that they wanted to achieve. And we were all allowed to like sit in this container together and go through this roadmap and and like achieve our goals, although they were also different. Like we got to embody the things that we needed for our own life because of the process you took us through. And just like I said in the sprint, like the momentum that I gained from the community and from like the direction that you took us on was huge. Like more momentum in 8 weeks than I had, like I said, in like months and months and months. Like I had been in like idle for so long. And so to have I just keep having this image of like, walking through like a trail. And then I went off trail, right? I was like, hey, I'm not doing this trail. I'm going to go this way. But it was like brush. There was like just, I couldn't walk through it. And so you just like were on the sidelines being like, hey, why don't you come on this trail? And I'm like, oh, this is so much easier. Like the map can be there. Like I get to like design my own perspective and I get to like bring my own stuff to it. But the roadmap is just so clear.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that and articulating it absolutely beautifully. What allows people with so many different goals, outcomes to come in is that the foundation for all of us is the same. We've got these subconscious roadblocks. They manifest in some very specific ways, and we all experience them. The
Yeah.
tools to shift out of them, the same for all of us, no matter how the self-sabotage is manifesting for us, or the barrier or the block, the subconscious block,
Mm-hmm.
or the limiting belief, right? All that roots back down to the same foundation. And so that's why that container was someone who was an artist and you and a health goal and creating an online business. That's why that container flourished and did create momentum, like had this momentum energy, because we're all in the same foundation without realizing it.
And it's also incredible to have like you hosting this space and being like, in my mind, it's like this huge, elaborate problem that I've created that I'm like, I cannot get through this, like this blockage or this barrier. And sometimes it was like the simplest questions that from the outside, you just be like, hey, what meaning are you giving that? And I was just like, like, actually, way more meaning than it needed. Like way more meaning than it needed. And like I've taken that with me along this journey because like I've experienced some heavy things from the time we did the sprint until this moment. And like our time together just reminded me like I'm not going to give up on this just because life happens. Like I am putting this in, like I'm doing this work. I'm stepping into this. I've already come so far and I don't want to give up on that vision that we seeded.
That you're experiencing as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the text, like I was going to keep taking everyone back to that. You called that into being. You already said, I'm going to be the woman who receives the texts. And here you are being the woman who receives the text. So
Mm-hmm.
what would you say to someone who was considering joining the next round of the sprint into your 24 karat era?
I feel like timing is everything. I feel like timing is everything. And I trust that when you are called to do it, the timing will be right. And if you are feeling inspired to do it, like take the leap because we're like holding ourselves back thinking that we're not ready. But if you're getting that urge, like that is a sign that this is the road, this is the path. Like we can do it together. Like everybody, it's such like the co-collaboration of it is so inspiring. And I feel like we have such a mindset as a society that like we've got to do this on our own and that like we got to figure all the steps out. And it's just so nice to like come together and to create something for yourself within a group.
Yeah, no, you're not alone, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm not the only one that struggles with this.
Yeah.
I'm not the only, and to share your successes, right? To share your
Hmm.
celebrations as well. So we've now worked together one-on-one and we've worked together in a group setting. And I believe that that is also timing. Like where are you in your path to what you need specifically?
Hmm.
Would you agree with that? That
Oh, absolutely. And
and
can I just pause for a second and
yeah.
say that the process that we did last summer, the disempowered to empowered, like that process has completely changed it has completely changed my life. Like beyond words. Like I still like sometimes search for those two parts of me, and like the choices that I'm making and the way that I'm standing up for myself and my needs and my boundaries, like it's so hard to like express the inner dynamic of this subconscious work. Like it really is so impactful, and we get into a space that we feel so stuck in the way that we are. And I just wish that I could like tell everyone, like, it doesn't have to be that way, like it just doesn't have to. Everything that we hit up against, like, there are such subtle and like gentle processes to take ourselves through to move us through those things.
Thank you for sharing that as well. Jess is talking about a rapid rewire process, one of the modalities that I use in working with clients. And it is very, I'm going to say a very cliche thing, a game changer. All the marketing tells us not to use words like that. And there's no other, like,
I
there
mean,
is
use the
no
word.
other word to describe it. It is a game changer. It absolutely changes the trajectory of what's
100%. I
happening. Yes.
completely agree with that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Is there anything else that someone considering any sort of subconscious work, specifically with me, of course, like, right, just in general as well, that you want to share with them about why the work is so vital?
So it's funny that you asked me that, because last night when I was kind of thinking about this interview and what I wanted to talk about, I just wanted to praise you for your integrity, and like you do the work that you preach. Like you're not somebody that shows up and says like, oh, you got to be doing this, this, and this, and then like on the back skirts, you're not doing it. Like you are a person that really truly embodies your own work, and not everybody out there is like that. And it's just such a blessing to be able to connect with you in this way, because like I needed that. I needed somebody that was like in a space of that was in a space that could hold space for me, for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like you have such a way of like being in your own space and allowing me my own space, and not, there you're just such a good coach. I don't know how to like put that into words, and I can try saying all of that again, but
No, what I call that, what I am hearing and how I articulate that is, I do hold the space for you to show up exactly where you are and honor your experiences while also holding the belief in your limitlessness and the belief in your healed self and the belief in your favorite version of yourself. I hold it up so you can see it and keep stepping
mhm,
into it and stepping into it. I
mhm.
do think that that is a superpower of mine to be able to hold that container so like undeniably.
You
I have
truly
no doubt in your success.
you truly do hold the container for my success, and allowing me to create myself and then remind myself like what I'm doing this for. And like it's so easy for me to get lost in my process, and then for you to just always kind of bring me back to that, like, this is what you were saying you wanted. Is this still like applicable? Are you like moving forward? Are you moving in a different direction? And just keeping that clarity and holding such a powerful space, and just being so open-hearted and accepting and validating is also such like a welcoming trait to have from somebody that you're doing such deep, like vulnerable work. Like sometimes the work gets really deep, and when you're trying to break through something that looks like a surface level thing, like trying to get on my website or trying to show up on my TikTok, and then we get into it and it's like, well, do I feel like I'm worthy of my truth?
Mm. Yeah.
And when I'm like, oh, I don't feel worthy of my truth. And you're like, okay, let's go into that instead of like why you're not showing up here. And I think it's those little moments and like your ability to identify those that really make such an impact.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm actually surprised I haven't cried.
I am too.
This is, I think, our first conversation that I have not cried, but I really sat in that moment of like, I this is the 24 karat version of myself, you know?
Yes. Yes.
And she doesn't get up and feel like the victim, and she doesn't get up and like don't get me wrong, I'm going through things.
Of course.
And life does that. Like life does that. And I'm learning to like put that in a space to hold space for it when I'm in my meditation or in the morning or in the shower or like when I'm having a conversation with somebody, like I can hold that space there and then I can show up in my 24 karat version in an interview with somebody that it's just it's
Yes.
really cool.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is huge. I really like, I thought about where I was when we started 5 years ago after I had my daughter. I had like 3 sets of curtains on my blind, like on my windows. And now my windows are open.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And super, super powerful.
Beautiful. Well, it's a privilege, as always, to walk with you in the healing and in the growth and the releasing. And it's hard work. It's hard work.
It is hard work.
It's not always hard. However, it is the good hard work. I always say that. It is the good
No,
hard work.
I'm gonna take that back. It's not hard work. It's intentional work.
It is intentional work. It is.
And it's deep and it's vulnerable and it can be really emotional, but it's like it's our work together has never felt hard for me. You know what I mean? Like, and I tell people like subconscious work doesn't have to feel hard. It feels really like empowering and releasing and like it's such a short process typically that the other side of it is so rewarding and so light and so like transformative. Like it's just you go in feeling so hard and heavy and like difficult, challenging, and the other side of that is so light and airy. And I just wish I could tell everybody.
I think hard comes from the ability to sit in your uncomfortableness of change. And that's why I will say it's hard because most people will choose to not experience that level of uncomfortableness because it's too hard, right? It's too difficult. It's too challenging
So uncomfortable some
to
days.
be uncomfortable until you're uncomfortable in the uncomfortability of change.
And exactly, like, are you willing to be like, how uncomfortable are you willing to be for so long? Like, how long do you want to sit in suffering before you choose to make the change? And that's like what I'm really recognizing. And even that last rewiring that we did, like, when you reached out to me that day, I was suffering. Like, I don't know if you remember the voice message that I sent you, but I was suffering. And like when we got on the call, like I was in deep suffering. And did that suffering like go away the second we did the process? No. But it was something that like changed the direction for me and like started moving me in a direction of like the empowerment and recognizing that I was vulnerable in those times and now I get to be an empowered person in this time and like
Yes.
having both elements and working towards just really embodying all that.
That process, that specific process too, is about getting you back to functioning while it metabolizes and while you continue to recognize that you are a conscious being of choice, right? Like from disempowered to empowered, and where are you going to show up on that continuum? And I know from all the other processes like that I've done with other clients, and I've had that work done on myself, it just like continues to root in and root
Mm,
in and root
mhm,
in, and
mhm,
it's in your DNA. Like
mhm.
it and that from going from suffering to functioning to then empowered, that leveling up, leveling up. Yeah,
Yes.
it treat you, it's truly, I mean, like it's truly magical, even and right.
The term that you use, a conscious person of choice. Like in every moment, I'm just like, am I a conscious person of choice right now? Yes, I am. And that is like changing my life. Like in this moment, although I was in my program, can I stop and like be of choice?
Yeah. Yeah.
So powerful. This work is so cool. I'm also like planning on launching an inner child program for my coach.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm thinking the end of January. Of course, my mind was like today, and I was like, no, no, not today. I got things to work on. So then I like am working on it's gonna be like a process of cultivating the inner parent.
Mm,
So like creating an inner parent to support the inner child so that you can gain rapport and then show up more intentionally for the child.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm
That's
excited.
congratulations.
Thank you.
I
And I
love
have like a friend that's like asking if we want to co-create stuff. And so yeah, like I'm focusing on my coaching business while my photography business is like just naturally coming in. And like most of my time is homeschooling mom. And then like I get to just like fill the space. Which before the 24 karat outcome, I was like such a stress case about like where am I going to put this time and like how do I manage it and now it just like feels so comfortable and things are just kind of flowing where they fit in and how I want them to and there's no like rigidity around it all. It feels
uh,
really good.
wow, so expansive.
It feels like it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So full of possibility.
Hmm.
Beautiful.